it going, everybody? I'm the big guy, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got the news of the week this week going into Royal Rumble weekend, ladies and gentlemen. One of the big four has finally arrived, and we will be on the road to WrestleMania. Then, of course, we got your SmackDown and Raw reviews, followed by a review of the 2015 Royal Rumble, another Royal Rumble that has since lived in infamy. And then, of course, we have a reading from the Book of Rules, your WWE Drink of the Week. And, of course, we have the Battle Droid of the Week. Well, let's get right into the news, as WWE has refused to grant Mustafa Ali's release. This has gone into a big thing on Twitter. Everybody's getting pissed at WWE. Bunch of shit going down, I don't know what to think of it. They don't have to grant his release. I think it's pretty shitty of them for not granting his release. I agree with that. But they don't have to. That's the one thing I need to remember, that is they don't have to grant him his release. And other news this week is WWE planning a big return at the Royal Rumble. Apparently that is the talk going around, as Ronda Rousey has been one of the names being thrown around to return at the Royal Rumble. Sources from inside WWE have confirmed that she has been in talks, but nothing is set in stone. That could be a huge return, along with Asuka, who is apparently being talked about, and Paige, who I haven't heard any real news talked about, but she has been rumored around Twitter, around the rumor mill. It could be a huge one if she was able to come back. And finally, we got some backstage news on who will be in the final four of the Royal Rumble. Apparently, one of the final four members has been leaked, and it will be Austin Theory. They are planning a big push for Austin Theory because he has really shined in Vince McMahon's eyes. He has shined in the company's eyes. So they are planning to have him be a huge participant in this year's Royal Rumble. Good for him. I really do hope that he can move on into the Royal Rumble and have a great career. After his first bad run with Seth Rollins and Andrade and all that shit, it's good to see him now having this run, because don't get me wrong, Seth Rollins is a hard guy to find fault with, but that was one of those times that it just didn't work out. So, sucks to see it, but maybe now he has redeemed himself in the eyes of the company and in the eyes of the fans, because he also had a bit of a scandal going on of someone saying he sent them illicit pictures and shit like that. So, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's good to see him just getting his shot at the Royal Rumble and being able to say, okay, maybe I can come back and have a great career. So good for Austin Theory. Let's move on into your SmackDown review for this week. SmackDown kicked off with the Bloodline celebrating Roman Reigns' most recent accomplishment of being the longest ever reigning Universal Champion. That's right, Roman Reigns has broken Brock Lesnar's record, and he is the longest reigning champion. So, bravo to him, bravo to Roman Reigns. And it's cool to see a Bloodline really get behind him, really get alongside what he's doing. Water. Everybody needs water. Make sure you hydrate yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And then Roman Reigns would come out and said he's not focused on his record. He's focused on Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins would then come out and say, the Bloodline is the reason you are champion, and just like the reason you were champion in the Shield because of me and Mox. He didn't say Dean Ambrose. He said Mox. Holy shit. Forbidden Door. See ya. They've chopped it down and they're using it for firewood. He then said, how about he finds a partner for tonight and it fights the Usos, and if him and his partner win, the Usos are banned from ringside for the Royal Rumble. The Usos then accepted, and Roman Reigns then said, if you lose your opportunity at the Royal Rumble. And they said, who are you going to find? No one likes you. And then KO's music hit, and KO comes out and says, I like him, I'll fight with him. And that would be set for your main event later on tonight. After this, we got Kofi Kingston versus Madcap Moss. A little chicanery on the outside from Happy Corbin, but Kofi Kingston had some backup. Big E is back. He helped Kofi Kingston. The New Day is back at strength, unfortunately without Xavier Woods, but they still have a great strength with Big E. So that was cool to see Kofi Kingston come out with his old friend Big E. Big E would deliver a big ending to Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. Kofi Kingston picks up the win, and that was one of the few Madcap Moss's matches I was happy to see. After this, we got an Aaliyah versus Natalya rematch. Natalya would attack Aaliyah and would cause a DQ, but as she's attacking her, Xia Li comes out. We haven't seen Xia Li since basically Toni Storm with Charlotte Flair, so that was cool to see. That was very cool to see Xia Li come out. After that, we got a shout out to former diva Summer Rae. She was called a WWE legend, and that's gotten some shit on Twitter. Listen, they're calling her a WWE legend because she's not an active superstar anymore. That's why they're calling her that. It has nothing to do with her in-ring prowess. What are they supposed to call her? She's a former WWE superstar, WWE legend. That's why they call them that. After this, we got a tag team match between the Viking Raiders and Los Lotharios. Viking Raiders were able to pick up the quick win. Good job on the Viking Raiders, really cementing themselves as the number one contenders for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Maybe we'll see that match at Royal Rumble. We still have the SmackDown to go before the Royal Rumble, but I could see that happening. After this, we got Sonya Deville. We got Charlotte Flair and Naomi. Sonya Deville's later on in my notes. We got Charlotte Flair versus Naomi in a SmackDown Women's Champion number one contenders match. Naomi would put up a great match, but Sonya Deville would come down and would toss Charles Robinson out. She would say, get out of the ring and give me your shirt. Charles Robinson would give her his shirt, and she would be the referee, and she would run she would actually do a Montreal screw job of once Charlotte Flair locked in the figure eight, she would call for the bell. There would be no tap, and it was very, very heelish. I'm still, the story's still going on. They could have ended somewhere else, but I'm hoping that this finally comes to its conclusion before WrestleMania. That's what I'm hoping. After this, we got another insane segment, which is Sami Zayn doing jackass stunts. Sami Zayn would come out and would try to use a cattle prod on himself. Then Johnny Knoxville would come out and say, dude, you didn't even turn on. And he would actually turn on and zap Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn would fall to the ring. And then as he would get up, Johnny Knoxville would say, hey, see you at the Rumble. And would throw Sami Zayn out of the ring. I hope this doesn't lead to a match at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn is kind of above having a celebrity match, in my opinion. I know Chris Jericho had one, and I think he's above that as well. But, I guess you have to do what the business recommends for you. And if that's what Vince wants them to do, that's what's going to happen. I don't know. After this, we got Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff. It's really cool to see Eric Bischoff back in WWE, man. I love Eric Bischoff. He's one of my favorite GMs of all time. The war him and Paul Heyman had for SmackDown and Raw was always one of my favorite times in WWE, man. And it always will be. He would say that Sonya Deville and Naomi are going to have a match on SmackDown next week. And because of Sonya Deville's actions. That was very cool. It's nice to see Eric Bischoff laying down the law Maybe they're going to bring back Eric Bischoff in a GM position. I would love to see that. I would really love to see Eric Bischoff in a GM role back in WWE because that's what he's suited for, man. He's suited as a GM. I get that he was in AEW for a little while, just shooting on WWE as he would on Nitro, but it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. You need him in a GM role, in an official role. So, him in WWE as a GM, I love it. I love that. After this, we got Sheamus versus Ricochet with Ridge Holland back at ringside. Ridge Holland is back. I guess he has his nose repaired, which is good to see. He suffered a broken nose at the Day 1 pay-per-view. So it's good to see him back. And unfortunately, this would be a quick match where Sheamus would defeat Ricochet. And you know, Ricochet's better than this, man. He is a great performer. And I want to see him so far up the card, it's unbelievable. They need to put a rocket to him and strap him and send him to the moon, man. That is my opinion of Ricochet. Put a rocket on him, send him to the moon. After this, we got an Intercontinental Championship segment backstage where Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura would meet Jeff Jarrett. That was a really cool thing. Jeff Jarrett and Rick Boogs talking to each other because they kind of got the same gimmick. So I like to see that. I thought that was fun. And then finally in your main event, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. That was a fun match. It was good to see. These guys have great talent. And I enjoyed this match. It was fun. The Usos would have the upper hand for a few minutes, but then Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins would fight back with a Falcon's Arrow and a Cannonball. But right as Seth Rollins was about to go for the stomp for the win, Roman Reigns comes in and Superman punches Seth Rollins, causing the DQ. The Usos are now banned from ringside. And Roman Reigns yells, "I don't need them to beat you. I could beat you myself." Very good SmackDown. I enjoyed it. I thought it had some great moments. I was really glued to my television for every second of it. It was enjoyable. It just made me smile the whole show, so I'll give it a B+. And now on to your Raw review for this week. The go-home show of Raw, and it wasn't even that great. It kicked off with the weigh-in between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley weighed in at 273, while Brock Lesnar weighed in at 286. Brock Lesnar came out dressed up in his full cowboy attire, even had a black cowboy hat. You know, I'll say this. I don't know if people like a face Brock Lesnar. I don't know if people like it. But god damn it, doesn't he look like he's having the time of his fucking life? He is living his best life. He's enjoying this, so bravo to Brock Lesnar, man. If you're enjoying this, keep it going, man. Keep it fucking going. He would call Bobby Lashley Bobby Who again, and it would lead to just a little war of words before they would leave the ring. And it would be a quick segment. I was shocked how quick it would be. You know Brock Lesnar's getting that money for it, and he doesn't get billed by the hour, so fuck it. After this, we got Bianca Belair versus Queen Zelina Vega match, and this was a fun match. The women really went back and forth with it. This would be one of the high points of Raw this week, and I'll get to the low points a little later. Bianca Belair and Queen Zelina actually had a good match. Bravo to this match. Bianca Belair would hit the KOD and pick up the win. After this, we got Kevin Owens versus Damian Priest. This is one of the low points for me.